Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is what would I need to believe? And it's really a conversation about questions and the power of questions to shape our lives and deliberate questions. We've talked about this before, but the idea here is what would I need to believe to create the world of my dreams or the life of my dreams? So before we get started, let's take a minute or two to just settle in and get comfortable and present. So let's take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it and feel that oxygen coursing into your lungs and imagine it flowing into your bloodstream, enlivening all your cells, your organs. And as you exhale, exhale any tension, any stress. And let's take another deep breath in through your nose. And this time, imagine sparkling white light coursing through every molecule of your being and expanding and connecting you with the universe beyond. Let this light just enliven and invigorate and enlighten every part of your being. And now let's just gently press your palms together. Softly, softly, softly rub your fingers against your palms to feel the tickling and the tingling in your fingers and in your palms. You can even rub your fingertips together really gently so that it's just that tickling, soft, delightful feeling. And now just allow yourselves to become present right here, right now. Welcome. It's a new week. And what a great way to start a week with questions. Good morning, Dido. So glad you're here. We're starting with the question, what would I need to believe to create the life of my dreams? So what would I need to believe to create what I desire? So for me, the first answer is I would need to believe that anything is possible, which I do actually. Pretty much, I truly do believe anything is possible. It may not be as likely as other things, but anything is possible. So, what else would I need to believe to create the life of my dreams? Let's think. Well, I would need to believe that I am worthy. I would need to allow myself to be able to receive what it is that I'm desiring, right? And so uh, another way to look at these questions is if you discover, oh, Dido says, what would I need to believe to create the life of my dreams? That's a great question. Yes, it is. And I don't take credit for it. No, I'm doing a program. I've mentioned these folks before, Mind Flavors, with Carl Hunter and Amy Huntelman. And uh, we're in a process now called Beautiful Life Designer. And so we have these little coaching videos every day. And that's where the inspiration came from for this is what would I need to believe? So let's look at what will we need to believe if we realize that one of the things that we would need to believe is that I'm worthy. Then we get to ask questions like, what how does my life prove to me that I'm worthy? So crafting our questions is a really important part of this whole process to make it effective. So we're asking ourselves questions all the time, like, why me? What did I do wrong? What should I have done instead? What's wrong with me? We have lots and lots of not so positive questions. And the way that the mind works is that it's really like a heat seeking missile. Its job is to go wherever you direct it. And so if you ask a question, it's going to find an answer. If you ask a bad question or a question that is um, detrimental, it's still going to give you an answer just because that's its job. So it's not going to discriminate. So if you say, what's wrong with me? You're going to get all kinds of answers about what's wrong with you. And so if you realize that one of the things that you need to believe is that you're worthy in order to be able to achieve or receive what is in line for you on the way to your dreams, a good question is, what what in my life proves to me that I'm worthy? Or what are my wonderful attributes? What is great about me? What do I like about me? What do I, how do I shine in the world? That's a great question too. So it's not just what would I need to believe, but help me out here. If you are thinking of some questions that you would need or that you would like to answer for yourself, what would you need to believe in order to have and create the life of your dreams? I think I would need to believe that my limitations are self-imposed. If I know that my limitations are self-imposed, then I can be shifting my notion of what my limitations are. What else would we need to believe? Help me out here. I would need to believe that I am that life can change. How about that? I would need to believe that it's possible to have a life of my dreams, and in order to believe that it's possible, I would need to believe that things change and that I can imagine a future that is not necessarily a linear progression from where I am. What else would I need to believe? Maybe it would be helpful to believe that the universe will support me in following my dream. That's a wonderful belief. And that's also my experience, in fact, is that when you dare to dream, when you actually commit yourself to your dream, the world does move to support you. It's really quite remarkable. Miracles happen, all kinds of wonderful synchronicities happen. So, what else would we need to believe in order to create the life of our dreams? Maybe that we're competent beyond our imagining, that we have capacities and capabilities that we haven't even begun to tap yet. That we don't, maybe we need to believe that we don't have to have money, for instance, before we go for our dreams. Maybe we need to believe that we are, whatever age we are, now is the best time to start. So lots of people have stories about being too young or too old. Maybe we would have to believe that my age has no factor whatsoever in the pursuit of my dreams. Maybe I would need to believe, what else? I think a lot of people have fears when they confront the possibility of their dreams. But maybe they would need to believe that pursuing their dreams is going to provide them with the highest possible fulfillment, or the pursuit of the dream is part of the dream itself, perhaps. What would you need to believe in order to pursue your dream and to have the life of your dreams? What would you need to believe? Dido says, as a Quaker, I believe that we all have an inner light that is called to shine. Beautiful, beautiful, Dido. That, you know what? That's a whole other track, and I love it. What would I need to believe? Maybe I would need to believe that that's what I was born for, is to create the life of my dreams. Maybe I would need to believe that I came here with a purpose and a calling, as Dido says. Maybe I would need to believe that I will be serving others by following my dream, for those of us who are very service oriented. Maybe I would need to believe that it's God's will for some of us. Maybe I would need to, that I follow the life of my dreams. Maybe I would need to believe that I am the creator of my life, in that I generate the experiences of it. Maybe I would need to believe, what else? Help me out. You guys who are listening, let's play. Come on. Let's hear what you have to say. What would you need to believe? I would need to believe that I'm unlimited, or that I'm not limited by the things I think I'm limited by. So with each of these things that we identify, Dido says, I believe I have the courage and support to create the life of my dreams. I love that, Dido. That's beautiful. So we need to believe that we have the inner resources and the external support to create the life of our dreams. That's beautiful. What else? I would need to believe that, well, I keep coming back to deserving, because deserving and worthiness, because that's something that so many people wrestle with on so many different levels. So if you identify that you would need to believe you were worthy, then you get to look at how to start cultivating your awareness and your embracing of your worthiness. So how would you do that? Let's look at, first of all, the worthiness is why, well, people will say, why me, and where's my strength? And you alluded to that with courage, Dido. So why me? We can turn why me around to, because I have this dream. I was gifted this dream so that I could fulfill it. So in terms of worthiness, what makes me worthy is that I have the dream, just simply in and of itself, that I have the dream. So um, when we look at worthiness, we often find all kinds of ways to justify our unworthiness. And real worthiness, a real experience of worthiness, comes from an inner awareness of the fact that by virtue of us being here, we are worthy. We are worthy of being here because we are here. And so it's not, you have life. It's not something that you have to earn. It's not something that you have to justify. You are alive. And that in and of itself is a rich gift and proof that you're worthy, despite messaging that you may have received throughout your life telling you otherwise. Who was it that was telling you you weren't worthy? So Abdul Fattah says, I just can't stop dreaming. I just can stop dreaming. Do you mean can? Or do you mean can't? Because yes, you could stop dreaming, but that would be sad. I think. I mean, I kind of believe that we're here to expand our possibilities and our potential and our expression. And so much of that is about moving into our inspiration. And so I'm not talking about idle dreams necessarily. I think the dreaming can happen on all levels. And there is it's ironic because in this uh, conversation, we're talking about dreaming, and in a way, we're all always in a dream, and from which we long to awaken, right? So why would we be encouraging more dreaming? But what I'm talking about, creating the life of our dreams, is really about tuning into our essential heart, our core voice, our deepest presence, to be able to call forth the dream of our soul that it came here to manifest. I'm not really talking about cars and houses and boats and status and those kinds of dreams, although people have those dreams and you're entitled to whatever dreams you have. I call you to dig deeper to the dream of your soul and the dream of your heart and the dream of your full divine expression. That's really the context for what I'm talking about with dreams, because we can go deeper. Um, so Dida says, I believe that Brene Brown said that the key belief held by those with wholehearted relationships is that they are worthy of being in a wholehearted relationship. It's not about looks, money, or smarts, but holding oneself as worthy. I love it. Dido, you always have such a rich contribution to these conversations, and I'm so grateful for you for that. Um, and this belief in worthiness, it's so true, because when we believe we're worthy, that is the key to being able to receive and to create and to feel fulfillment, because we're worthy of it. We're not pushing it away to say not me, or I don't deserve that. We're just being willing to interact with and live in the flow of life. And we are, when we're worthy, we're allowing ourselves to receive and experience life itself. And when we're worthy, we can be present. When we're worthy, we can be open. When we're worthy, we can be in relationship. And I love that we can take that whole notion of worthiness not only into wholehearted relationship, but expand it into a wholehearted relationship with life itself and all the bounty and beauty and magic that is available to us in life. So worthiness is a real key, and it's so interesting to see how how it comes into play in so many people's lives, people who are doing remarkable things, still feeling unworthy, still feeling unfulfilled, still feeling like they're not enough. And this brings us into this whole other conversation that we've had multiple times and we'll have going forward, is this not enoughness. Because the not enoughness, the internal not enoughness, drives us into consumer frenzy, where maybe if I have that, then I'll feel like I'm enough. Maybe if I have more, I will feel like I am enough. And the thing is that no matter how many things externally, or even relationships, or any of the external accoutrements, no matter what the external is, it will never give us the internal enoughness. Because when we accumulate whatever it is externally that we wanted, then there's the next thing and the next thing, and it's always about more. And the question goes into sufficiency. So when we talk about worthiness, one way to address this with questions so that your mind can find answers for you is, how can I experience worthiness right now in my body? What would it feel like if I could experience worthiness right now? What would it feel like? What can I imagine in my body it would feel like to feel and experience worthiness? How would I stand if I felt worthy? Well, maybe I'd stand with my shoulders erect and square, and my back aligned, my head held high. How would I how would my voice sound if I felt worthy? What expression would I have on my face if I felt worthy? And the thing about this kind of practice is your body and your mind wants to comply with the questions that you're asking. Excuse me. So, wants to find answers. So, how would I walk if I felt worthy? What would I believe about myself if I felt worthy? How would I imagine my relationships if I were worthy? What kind of context could I put my history in if I felt worthy? Etc., etc. So, do you see the power of our questions to shape our experience is profound? And in fact, that is how we typically shape our experience, is either by internal self-talk, answering those negative questions most often, or asking questions, which are most often disempowering, like, why me, or what did I do wrong, or what's wrong with me? And instead of those questions, what's right with me? What's good about me? What one thing can I find? What one little thing, even to start, can I find that's good about me? What would and really, even more than those kinds of questions, I think the what would I feel like if I felt worthy? What would it feel like to be feeling worthy? Those kinds of feeling questions instead of the thinking questions, I think have more power, because so many of us have been conditioned to believe that we're not worthy and to justify our unworthiness and to give all kinds of excuses why we're not worthy. So if we can derail that pattern by feeling into our body, by using our physiology, by practicing that, then that can make a profound shift in our experience, because then we're creating new neural pathways, new neural networks, a new habit of worthiness. By what would it feel like to walk across this room feeling worthy? What would it feel like to have a conversation with somebody from the place of worthiness? What would it feel like? And on like that, because that's a direct repatterning, kind of getting under the old program thinking. It bypasses it because you don't want to engage the mind in conversation about your worthiness, because you probably have a lot of programming around that. So maybe start experiencing it. And I really recommend, and I did this for myself today, in fact, to be looking at the question, what do I need to believe in order to create the world of my dreams, the life of my dreams? I set an alarm for multiple times throughout the day to remind me to sit and think about that question. And we know that it only takes 17 seconds of attention, of focused attention, to be able to start activating the magic of manifestation and magnetism of a thought. So when we keep thinking over and over about how miserable we are, what are we creating in the world? We're creating that misery. Let's take that time instead, at least 17 seconds, and then every second after that is bonus time to be creating what it is we want to create. So maybe for at least 17 seconds, walk around feeling worthy. What would it feel like? And practice that throughout the day repeatedly. And what you're doing is you are building, literally, truly, scientifically building new neural networks, new connections, and new patterns. And when your body and your being knows that there's a more pleasant pattern to follow than the negative one, ultimately that's where you'll go when you're given that neuro option. So the power of questions: what would I need to believe? Or what beliefs will support me? How about that one? That's another great question. What beliefs will support me in creating the life of my dreams? And with that, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for playing with me today. This is really good stuff, because we are designing our lives. Let's design them consciously. Let's ask really powerful questions that send us in the direction that we desire to go. And I think that's it for today. So I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection, and I go live daily during the week from at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and we broadcast live on the Facebook page for Enlightened World Network and YouTube and LinkedIn and all over the place. And I invite you to check out the wonderful programming on Enlightened World Network for inspiration and connection and community. And so until next time, have a wonderful day, and truly look at what you need to believe and start cultivating the beliefs that you need to believe to create the life of your dreams. So much love, lots of compassion. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.